What's up, family? So Nancy Grace is on the case, and she is not playing about this Nolan Wells case. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe.
Bombshell tonight in the investigation of the death of a young man, Nolan Wells. Death threats are flying. One actually says there's going to be blood. So much blood. Another death threat says, don't go outside. How can anybody do their jobs when they're getting death threats? Not only that, we understand this case is headed to a grand jury. We also learned tonight that the state's autopsy is complete, but is being kept secret.
How do y'all feel about that? The state autopsy is complete, but is being held secret. Is that normal? Like, why is that? It must be an investigation going on if that's the case in my eyes.
Isn't an autopsy a public document? Why is it being kept hidden from us, the public? What is in that autopsy, the first autopsy of Nolan Wells? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
The young lady, Katie, that he was hanging out with. I saw a text message from her alluding to the fact that she never saw him get on that boat at all. They could have been saying, don't die, or is it dead, referring to the bilge pump. Somebody would have seen something if there was a dramatic commotion like this occurring on that boat.
I hope Nolan Wells died by accident. I'm not shutting down our Crime Stories investigation until I know.
You killed him, he's already dead. Oh, wow. Dang.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the f*** up! What'd you say?
You know, if that sound is real, there.
No's really dead. Nolan. They call him No, really dead.
There's no getting away from that. And all this business about there's no connection. Well, I listened to a good 40 seconds of SETO, S-E-A, second word T-O-W, on hold. Listen to their music. There was plenty good connection, but before I can even get to the death threats of blood, so much blood everywhere, and don't step outside, and more, before I can even get to the grand jury, before I can get to the autopsy that's being kept hidden from us, I want you to meet someone very important, critical to this investigation. Her name, Janetta Brantley. Miss Brantley is the audio engineer who enhanced the 911 call, the SETO call, in the Nolan Wells case. So everybody claiming some ding-dong on YouTube did it, or somebody on Insta or TikTok did it, no. She did it. I've spoken to her. I've read her statement. I want you to judge her credibility. Credibility is normally the sole province of a jury, and tonight you serve in that function. Miss Brantley, I'm sure that you're getting all sorts of abuse, threats, and so forth. It's a cacophony that seemingly won't cease. That said, thank you for being with us tonight. Explain to me where you got the audio, how you got the audio, and what, if anything, you did to enhance the audio.
First and foremost, I basically downloaded it off of YouTube from WLOX News's YouTube site. And when I downloaded it, I ripped it off of YouTube. That's the terminology that we use when we take something off of YouTube. But so she when I ripped it off of YouTube and I pulled it in.
Pause, please. Objection. Miss Brantley, isn't it true that the audio you got was taken directly by XLO from MDMR? Correct? the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Okay.
See, Nancy not playing. See, Nancy wants to break down this case step by step by step. She's not going to let nobody get too far ahead. She's going to make sure there's no gray area. That's why I like Nancy Grace.
Please continue, Miss Brantley.
She's not playing.
So when I downloaded it from YouTube, I pulled it into my DAW, which is Logic Pro X. That's my DAW of choice. And when I first listened to it, I realized that it was like a dual mono recording, which most, most phone services or operators utilize when they're recording conversations. And so it was already split between the.
Got you. So she said that basically it was already a normal phone call. It was already normal. So she's kind of saying it's not AI without saying it, because she's like, it's a normal phone call, how any other phone call would look.
Caller, the dispatch, and the callers in the background. And so that's what made it easy for me to isolate it without having to do much to it. So that isolation, when I separated the left channel from the right channel, that just made me be able to really focus on everything that was on the call end. And what I was hearing was I honestly could not believe what I was hearing.
Yeah.
Miss Janetta Brantley, isn't it true this is the same audio that was released by the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources?
Nancy not playing. She want them facts.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Let's listen to it one more time.
Can we cover up? Yeah, I thought about that. Oh, you killed him. He's already dead. Is he dead? Yeah. Nolan. Oh my God. Nolan, wake up.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
Get the fuck up. Damn it, Bart.
What'd you say?
Nolan's really dead.
It's coming up. We're just sinking.
Who is Nono? Nono has to be Nolan. Nono's really dead.
I don't know. We're going down now. I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that. Everybody was on this phone. I know we have a membership, guaranteed. I don't have the tag on here. It got ripped off.
I heard Wyatt's name too. Wyatt, Warren, Brian.
No, we do not need that.
Brian.
Let me go look.
That's ridiculous.
Hey, jump in and pull the plug while you're going.
Jump in and pull the plug. Pull the plug on your own boat.
Hello. Take it out of here. Okay, what's going on? What's up? Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
Oh no, Is that the same girl from that was adjusting audio? She don't look the same. That's the same girl. Oh, she's showing you what she did to the audio. She's just enhancing it. Like she said, she's just enhancing the audio.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
So she's just showing us what she did. It's innocent.
Back to Janetta Brantley joining us tonight, and she shows herself in that video showing what she is doing. What does adding EQ mean, Miss Brantley?
Adding EQ is basically selecting a certain frequency of the actual sound and either deleting or removing a certain noise, something that's problematic to the ear, deleting that or boosting that. That's literally all EQing is.
What was your process, Janetta? Because I was sitting researching. It was early in the morning, like 5:45 a.m. several days ago, and I was researching the Nolan Wells case, and I saw the transcript as it was being played. And my husband was also up. He said, "What's wrong?" I'm like, if this is real, this changes everything. It changes everything. Yeah. Because up until that really point, it seemed as if Nolan's death could very well have been an accident. If this is really real, it changes everything. It's seismic. What was your reaction when you heard these words, Janetta Brantley?
I think at my core, I was in disbelief. I wasn't cleaning it or enhancing it to specifically look for or identify a crime or even point the fingers at anybody. I believe I wanted it to be an accident. I think a lot of us wanted it to be an accident. So when I heard those things, when I heard "Damn it, Bart," that name stood out to me because I hadn't even heard that name before. As I was listening to certain things that stood out to me, I was in disbelief because, again, I'm just an audio engineer. I'm not an investigator, detective, or anything like that. Yeah. So when I heard a name that I wasn't familiar with, it stood out to me. And that alone made me want to hear what was immediately said after "Damn it, Bart." And so that's why in that process where "Damn it, Bart" came in loud and clear to me, I decided to go over to the next part to hear what the rest of that statement was, which is where you saw me actually create a loop over that part, split that part, and then add a gain, which the gain is boosting the volume overall. And that's pretty much what you saw me do in that actual video. And so to hear, "Damn it, Bart, Nolan's really dead now," that I
Wow. So she basically saying when she heard Bart's name, she enhanced the video more to hear that conversation, and that conversation exposed more details of the case. It exposed them saying, "Oh my God, Nolan's dead," or "Nolan's dead." That is crazy. That's crazy work. So and Nancy Grace already confirmed that this audio came from the Mississippi, whatever. It's official. It's an official audio. So that's crazy, bro. Like,
didn't believe it. I could not believe it.
I can't
my
believe
reaction
it
to Janetta.
So my question is, why is everybody acting like they don't know what's going on when there's clear evidence of them talking about Nolan being dead? Why? What are you guys hiding? So you're hiding something. So the death obviously wasn't an accident because you keep on lying. So what exactly did Nolan do, or what exactly happened that Nolan died? If everybody was getting drunk, that's one thing, but why did Nolan die? That's the question. Because
when I first heard it, I thought this has got to be doctored. This can't be real. Don't move. Straight out to veteran trial lawyer Franz Borghardt, a veteran trial lawyer joining us out of the Baton Rouge jurisdiction at Borghardt's law firm.
He looked crazy as hell.
Franz, take off your defense hat just one moment. I have introduced wiretaps many times at trials, which are very hard to get, by the way. And I've never had one that I believed was doctored at the time because they were taken by law enforcement. This is from a completely independent source with no dog in the fight, no skin in the game. It's from dispatch at Cito.
Like he on BS. I could feel
and if this is
I don't
real,
like the look in his eyes.
This blows the case wide up. Now, you saw Janetta Brantley. You've heard her. I have no reason to disbelieve anything she's saying.
So if I'm prosecuting this, I'm worried that I need a witness in 2026 to exclude the possibility that it's either AI generated or doctored, just like.
Why do we keep going back to the AI generated? How is it AI generated? So the people at the Mississippi thing, they just AI, they added that to the clip. within the time frame of the audio. Then they sent it out and made sure the video was properly enhanced. Like, that's what they did. Why do we keep saying it's AI generated and we need a witness? This is the proof. Like, it's going to get to the point where people are going to commit. Why? Okay, this is my question. When we see murders caught on camera and we see things like that, why don't we ask, is the AI generated this hard when we see young black men get caught on camera? Even though I believe that killers need to go to jail, period. If you're going to kill, you need to go to jail, especially if you're just out here crashing out. However, why is this so heavily is this AI generated? Why does everybody keep going back to that? We all know what we heard. We all keep saying the audio is official. Nobody had time to, no, I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that happened. So I don't even know what this. I told y'all I didn't like him when I seen his face.
You suggested, and I think that she's very credible, but I think we need to go one step further. The other concern I have, Nancy, is if the independent autopsy is showing inconclusive death results, now I really want to see the other autopsy to see, is there trauma to the body? Is there something that happened? These are the concerns I would have as a prosecutor. But we've now opened the doors to these guys may in fact have committed obstruction of justice.
Hold on. You're putting the cart before the horse. Before we talk about obstructions such as allegedly lying or covering something up, you've already mentioned two distinct lines of inquiry. One is that the audio that Janetta Brantley enhanced innocently, I believe, had been already AI or doctored. Okay, let's follow that through to its logical conclusion. You just throw that out there like a stink bomb at the circle. You know what a circle meeting is, right? In the United Methodist Church, all the ladies have circle meetings. Okay. To suggest this was doctored before Janetta got it means it had to have been doctored or AI created by who? The Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. No, don't still. That doesn't work in court, Burkhartz.
Exactly.
You can't just throw. Oh, that's like the side defense.
I do not trust this Lord. Man, this is going to be a hard fought case because I feel like a lot of, the color of the skin is starting to matter. Like, bro, somebody just died. Like, why are we saying all the dumbest things in the world? It's not an AI video. We all heard what we heard. You know what I'm saying? Next thing they gonna say, well, you know, we don't hear things how we think we hear. Sometimes we hear things based off what we thinking. Like, they're like, bro, like, I don't get it no more.
Some other dude did it. What dude?
Because if this was me, and I was it, and I was on that phone, and some white boy is dead, and they heard my voice talking like that, I would be in jail. Matter of fact, they would be using this at my trial right now. I wouldn't getting locked up. I would have been locked up. They would have been using this at my trial, about to sentence me probably under the jailhouse. Like, and that's just the truth, bro. What
are you talking about? So you're saying AI doctored by who? If it's not Janetta, then who? She got it. The same sound that was released by the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. What? Yeah. You think they doctored it?
There is nothing normal about this case. And if
that's not what I asked you. I'm asking you to explain your premise, and you're not doing it.
I said if I were a prosecutor, I would want to be able to establish with expert testimony that what we are listening to is real. And I would want a witness.
How is it not real?
Because I'm telling you
you're not going to get a witness because nobody's talking. And there was people on the boat and they already said they don't see or know anything. So what? So you're hoping for a snitch to verify this phone call from a legit source. You're going to need somebody to verify who was there. When they use 911 phone calls in court, do they need to confirm that phone call was real? That somebody didn't alter that phone call? I mean, I'm sure they do make sure it's real, but do they go to this extent? Like, why do they keep saying that,
This
bro?
case, with as viral as it's been, I'm not disagreeing that it's real. I'm saying I would want to be able to bolster that very credible woman's testimony.
What
and she
else
is
do
very
you
credible.
need?
I have no doubt that what we're listening to
Now
and
you
what she
fixing the
did is
statement.
credible.
See, Nancy got on his ass, and now he playing the nice guy role and shit. But he was finna go on here and show his ass. And Nancy had cut that shit out though.
The issue is, I don't know if she can go the
Where did it come
distance
from?
to say,
Okay,
right,
got it. She cannot testify as to whether MDMR had enhanced it or doctored it before it was released. But see, the problem is, you would have to ask someone to believe a clerk or an official at the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources doctored this before they released it, to the extent that nobody could understand it until they enhanced it. That's a hell of a doctor job. Okay, so you did that. Then you got into the medical examiner findings. Okay, what was your theory on that? Very quickly.
If he's dead on the boat, how did he die? It should be conclusive. It shouldn't be inconclusive.
Joining us right now, Joseph Scott Morgan, renowned death investigator, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, with a premier criminal pro department and building, author of Blood Beneath My Feet, star of a hit series, Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan, and it goes on. Significant, over 10,000 death scenes under his belt. Joe Scott, follow up. I'm not arguing in Burkhart's. Let's learn, if we can, from what he's saying. Jump.
Yeah, so whatever has been the causal factors here has got to marry up with what they were seeing at the scene, and perhaps the audio does fall into this. You know, these statements. And I think that probably from a medical legal perspective, that is the coroner and the medical examiner are going to want to be able to fully appreciate what is being said here from a timeline. This is absent the police's investigation. They're going to try to rule in or rule out what they're seeing presenting on Nolan's remains when they finally did receive them at the state medical examiner's office, and that examination began. And this is going to be critical and key, you know, because the causal effects here are going to be critical. You know, we go back to these changes that the second autopsy referred to on the back of the head. Now, the doctor was not able to, at that point in time, even though he did do a thorough, what's referred to as a layered dissection here, he could not establish the causal effects here because the injury or the insult that you see there, this presentation, is compromised by decomposition. So what did the...
Right, and that's another thing that confuses me. Why was the body so decomposed? They didn't preserve the body at all? They didn't, I mean, don't they know? They know how to preserve bodies. You know what I'm saying? There's whole morgues out there. So why was the body so decomposed, especially if you're still examining certain parts of the body? So when it gets sent off, he can barely tell what's in the back of the head, but he knows it's not normal. To the point it's so unnormal, he has to write it down and notate it. And then when they try to investigate the throat and the intact lungs, they're nowhere to be found. They don't even have them. Does that not raise suspicion to anybody else? That's ridiculous, bro. These people are off the chain.
State medical examiner see. My problem is here, Nancy, how was the body treated before or after the first autopsy and the body is transported up to D.C.? I have questions about this because they're talking about to the degree with which the body was decomposed. The doctor up in D.C. is seeing significant decomposition. We don't know what they saw in Mississippi, but I do know that you're only talking about what, and I'm ballparking here, please give me some grace, maybe 48 hours tops before the medical legal authorities have seen the body. So how far degraded is the body to compromise any of this? And this evidence is going to have to be borne out, not just with the physical findings that you see with the unaided eye, but also whatever's going on toxicologically.
I want you to take a careful look at this video we have obtained. Let's see it. Look how tightly everyone is packed in. There were hundreds of people out on Horn Island on July the 4th. What, nobody saw what happened to Nolan Wells? They all just left with him standing there stranded, waving his arms like Gilligan? That did not happen. Now that you're seeing this, what is an innocent explanation? I'm trying to figure that out. Joining me, and I'll circle back to you, Joe Scott, because I got a lot of questions regarding the way he could have died innocently and been left behind, and that sound being true. The sound that Janetta Brantley enhanced. Is there any innocent explanation? Is there a way, as my favorite judge often said, Luther Alverson, it is your duty to make all witnesses speak the truth and impugn perjury to no one. Is there a way that can be done? I don't know that it can. It seems to me that someone is lying.
Yes.
But who? Joining me now, Teslin Figaro, social justice, political commentator, host of the Teslin.
She bringing on. Hey, shout out Nancy Gersh for bringing on the sisters, man. You know, once the sisters get involved, the game is over with.
Figaro podcast. Ms. Figaro, thank you for being with us. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, well, that's what the family is saying. They don't believe he died by accident. That's the point. Right. That's the reason why Nolan Wells' mom is saying, I don't believe this. I don't believe he died by accident before we had the audio. The audio simply confirms that there are additional questions that needs to be asked.
Point blank, period. That's all the audio did. Everybody was already concerned with the situation. The audio just confirmed it. What she's saying is that the mom already knew something was off. They know Nolan's an athlete. They know he can swim. They know there's something off. I'm so happy she brought on one of my sisters that broke that down so quick. It's point blank, period.
It wasn't just one thing they said in the audio. They said Nolan repeatedly in the audio. They said check his chest in the audio. They said, is he dead in the audio? And also, notice this, Nancy. Did you notice that the operator also said, is anybody breathing? Who says that? What operator says who all is breathing on the boat? So is this all the audio, Nancy? Is there more audio? That's my question.
I want to look specifically, Teslin, at what was said. At one point, we think, you killed him? He's already dead. He's already dead? Is he dead? Yeah. Nolan, OMG, wake up. And as Janetta stated, then she hears a completely different name, Bart. Now, we also hear, and I'm very curious, the phrase, no. Teslin Figaro, was that a nickname of Nolan Wells?
I cannot confirm if that's a nickname of his or not. But what I do know is we heard Nolan. What I do know is we heard check his chest. What I do know is that we said, is he dead? What we do know is we heard screams. There's folks out there suggesting that perhaps they were talking to a seagull or perhaps talking to some random bird that was flying around that's called No. There were folks out there that suggesting, well, maybe they were talking about the boat. Come on, we got to knock this off, Nancy. We heard what we heard. And so if we were to put this before a jury.
Also, we hear, damn it, Bart.
Yeah,
No-No's really dead. Damn it, Bart. No-No's really dead. Repeating it over and over and over. According to...
That's ridiculous, man. This whole case is crazy. We didn't kind of broke this down already. Y'all heard it for yourself, man. They enhanced that audio, and we found even more footage and evidence that Nolan Wells was killed, allegedly. That's kind of what it's pointing to. It doesn't look like a freak accident, and if it was a freak accident, why did nobody say anything? So, hey man, let's just hope. And this is the same audio that Officer Tatum told us to overlook and don't worry about it, because they had 2 eyewitnesses that seen him at the boat around 6 o'clock after that audio was taken. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous claims. But y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Go ahead and drop a like and subscribe and drop a comment. Let me know how y'all feel. Until next time, appreciate you.